Welcome to DevOps 2.0, the ultimate JS delivery pipeline. This is a recording of a workshop we gave at the 2021 DevOps JS conference. For your convenience, we split the recording into 9 parts. For all relevant links, timestamps, and more information, see the description box below.
First thing that we should really consider is making sure that our project is secure. And the great majority of us, we use the benefits of npm packages. And truth be told, no matter how secure our code is, there still can be vulnerabilities in the npm packages, in the dependencies in our project that can make our application insecure, maybe not directly, but indirectly. And more often than not, we devs are not even aware of the fact that there are such security holes in our projects. And why are we not aware? Because we are not auditing that often enough, or we're not auditing that at all. And we really should. And there are very cool, convenient tools to do that. And one tool that is literally at our fingertips that many of us don't even realize that this there is npm-audit, a very cool, very simple command. And I'm going to show you how you could use this command to fix some of the holes, some of the vulnerabilities, hard word to say if you're Polish, in your dependencies of your app, how you could quickly fix them and even automate patching up these insecure packages in your repository. So again, to save some time, I'm going to import a new pipeline from a YAML file. So I have such a pipeline created right here. And as you can see, we have a new pipeline called npm-audit. Right, let me just change one thing. I've changed the execution trigger mode to manual because I wanted to do that. Now, what is npm-audit? Let me quickly open the documentation for this little command because it has a very good description. I think that it's clear as a day if I read it just out loud. So the audit command submits a description of the dependencies configured in your project to your default registry and asks for a report of known vulnerabilities. Right, so a list of your dependencies. There's another list that has dependencies listed with their vulnerabilities. There's a comparison going on, and the command checks dependencies against the list. And now, if any vulnerabilities are found, then the impact and appropriate remediation will be calculated. If the fix argument is provided, then remediations will be applied to the package tree. So not only does this command give you the idea of how many vulnerabilities are there in your dependencies, it also allows you to fix them. Of course, as it's the case with many of these automated solutions, not every vulnerability can be fixed automatically, but many of them can. And let me show you how. So here's a pipeline I set up. The first command I'm going to run in this pipeline is the npm-audit command. Now, you can see that I'm running it with the audit level flag. And what does this flag do? It actually makes this command fail. How and why? If you run npm-audit, even if there are packages due to exit code handling, even if there are vulnerabilities found, the command is considered to run successfully because it did its job. So it ran npm-audit, it found this many vulnerabilities, and here we go, do with that whatever you might want to, right? But to increase the security of my project, I want this command to actually throw an error when there are some vulnerabilities found. And I can set the threshold of how many found vulnerabilities trigger an error with the audit level flag. And now there are 3 available levels. If we jump back to the documentation, where are they? here they are. So as you can see, we have audit level low, moderate. Oh, I'm sorry, there are 4 actually. Audit level low, moderate, high, and critical. So you can make this command as sensitive or as unsensitive as you might want. So I've decided to make it fail when there's when there are not that many, even the slightest amount of vulnerabilities found, the command fails. Then, since I want this action to fail when there are vulnerabilities found in my project, the next actions are going to run on failure. So this next action, npm-audit fix, it runs only if, first of all, only if the initial action fails. And then I have also used another feature of Buddy, which is trigger conditions. You can find them here. And I've chosen the option to run this action only if an environment variable has a specific value. And here I define the environment variable, which is the body failed action logs. And in this environment variable, by default, logs of the last failed action are saved. Did I say it right? Yes, I guess I did. And the contents of this environment variable must not contain this phrase: vulnerabilities require manual review. Now, what this means in practice: if npm-audit runs and doesn't find any vulnerabilities, it's okay. The pipeline runs successfully. Nothing needs to be fixed. If it fails and it shows that, hey, there are this many vulnerabilities found and they can be fixed automatically, then npm-audit fix runs. If the phrase that I read out loud appears in the logs, it means that these vulnerabilities require my manual attention. So it's not enough to just run npm-audit fix. So in such case, a Slack notification is going to be sent to my Slack channel. And again, I've defined this with a trigger condition, but this time the failed action logs, they have to contain this phrase. Okay, so if there are vulnerabilities that require manual attention, manual review, instead of doing anything, the pipeline would just let me know, hey man, it's above my pay grade. I'm not doing anything with that. You handle that. But 1, if there are vulnerabilities, so the first action fails. 2, all of them can be fixed automatically. This runs, and then the fixes done by this action, they are pushed automatically to the branch on which the pipeline was executed. And again, this action has a trigger condition that's the same as with the npm-audit fix. So if the body failed action logs environment variable does not contain the phrase that there are vulnerabilities that require manual review, then it is okay for body to push the fixes to the not main branch, but to the branch on which this pipeline has been triggered. That's quite a lot, right? It's might look complicated, or I might have made it sound a bit complicated, but believe me, it's very logical, and trigger conditions are a very powerful tool that you can find in Buddy, and that you can use these to tailor these pipelines to do, the only thing that they can do probably is coffee, but I bet that you can do that with pipelines as well. Anyway, a good practice, a good idea would be to have this pipeline run alongside with maybe the pipeline that runs unit tests, so that with every push, you're ensuring that there are no security vulnerabilities on your branch that you're working on at this moment. Now, let me show you how this works in practice. I want this pipeline to run once when I tell it to, so let's just click Run Pipeline. This is also a very viable option to trigger pipelines in Buddy. You don't have to resort to any automated triggers. You can just run pipelines manually or recurrently. So just run the pipeline, and I want to run this pipeline on the repositories, the main branch of the repository. And I suspect, I'm almost sure that there are vulnerabilities in the packages found in the dependencies of this little counter app of ours. So let's just wait patiently and see what's going to be the result of the npm audit. As predicted, the npm audit action failed, but the audit fix is running. So if I look over at the logs, I can see that yes, there are 109 vulnerabilities, but the logs don't say anything about having to fix them manually. So since that is the case, the next action that's supposed to fix these vulnerabilities, it runs. So it's fixing away. Oh, right. See, so actually, I forgot about that. We just, what I did is I prevented this pipeline from running successfully because I protected my main branch with a branch protection rule. As you can see here in the logs, protected branch hook declined, which means and required status check body is expected. So I'm not able, body is not able to merge to my main branch automatically because all changes to the main branch have to go through the pipeline we defined a while back. So you can see that the securing mechanism is very successful indeed. But to show you how this pipeline runs, anyway, we are not protecting our branches with any, we can still push changes directly to branches. So instead of running this pipeline on a branch, on our master branch, I'm going to run it, but I'm going to run it on the break stuff branch. And there it will again find the vulnerabilities, but it will be able to push changes directly to that branch. See, so even though we failed in this step a little, we learned something, or at least I was able to show you something cool. So a takeaway, you're not able to push to master after you employ branch protection rules. Right. So let's not wait until this pipeline completes, although it's run successfully, although it's going to be just a minute. Yep. Okay, never mind. It took 43 seconds. Takes me much more time to collect my thoughts than for this pipeline to run. Again, machines win. So now if we were to go to our pull request, and this here pull request, you can see in the commit list, on the commit list, that we have a commit from body. And this commit contains changes to the package log file and to the yarn log. So here you go. This is how you can automatically fix your vulnerabilities with npm audit.